Welcome, little lambs. Today, we are going to be hearing and reading an exciting story called David and Goliath. David and Goliath. David lived near Bethlehem with his father, Jesse, and his 7 brothers. The Lord had chosen him to be special, and the Spirit of the Lord took control of him. The enemies of Israel at that time were the Philistines. The Philistines gathered their armies for war. The Israelites, under the command of Saul, set up camp on a hill near the Philistine camp. The Philistines had a champion fighter named, guess what? Goliath. He was from Gath. He was about 9 feet 4 inches tall. He came out of the Philistine camp. He had a bronze helmet on his head, and he wore a coat of scale armor. It was made of bronze and weighed about 125 pounds. He wore bronze protectors on his legs, and he had a small spear of a bronze tied on his back. The wooden part of his larger spear was like a weaver's rod, and its blade weighed about 15 pounds. Goliath stood and shouted to the Israelite soldiers, "Why have you taken positions for battle? I am a Philistine, and you are Saul's servants. Choose a man and send him to fight me. If he can fight me and kill me, we will become your servants. But if I defeat and kill him, you will become our servants." Then he said, "Today I stand and dare the army of Israel. Send one of your men to fight me." When Saul and the Israelites heard the Philistines' words, they were very afraid. Now David, the son of Jesse, an Ephrathite. David was the youngest son. Jesse's 3 oldest sons followed Saul, but David went back and forth from Saul to Bethlehem. Then he took care of his father's sheep. Now Jesse said to his son David, "Take this half bushel of cooked grain and take 10 loaves of bread. Take them to your brothers in the camp." Early in the morning, David left the sheep with another shepherd. He took the food and left as Jesse had told him. While he was in the army camp, Goliath came out. He was the Philistine champion from Gath. He shouted things against Israel as usual, and David heard it and asked why no one had gone to fight Goliath. Some men heard what David said and told Saul. Then Saul ordered David to be sent to him, and David offered to fight the giant. Saul answered, "You can't go against the Philistine and fight him. You're only a boy. Goliath has been a warrior since he was a young man." But David said to Saul, "The Lord saved me from a lion and a bear. He will also save me from this Philistine." Saul agreed to let David fight the giant. He even offered David his armor, but David refused it. Taking only his sling and 5 smooth rocks, Goliath looked at David. He saw that David was only a boy, tanned and handsome. He looked down at David with disgust. He said to David, "Come here. I'll feed your body to the birds of the air and the wild animals." But David said to him, "You come to me using a sword, a large spear, and a small spear. But I come to you in the name of the Lord of heaven's armies." As Goliath came near to attack him, David ran quickly to meet him. He took a stone from his pouch. He put it into his sling and slung it. The stone hit the Philistine on his forehead and sank into it. Goliath fell face down on the ground. Boom. So David defeated the Philistine with only a sling and a stone. As David said, those who love God must never forget that the Lord does not need swords or spears to save people. The battle belongs to Him. See you later, little lambs.